Shortstop and batting first is number 2, Dylan Griffith. Batting second and pitching. You got to win in order to
before the game, and he told me to remind my team.
Important to have a good leader behind. We're just a little bit with Mr. Phil. Mr. Phil Lightfoot, our official out there. Bryson going from the wind up here.
So it seems like they kind of went a little bit opposite of our early schedule.
A run or something here in the bottom of the 7th. Bryson Speedster here gets anything. Season. 2-2 count for Blaze. Blaze is a 4-year starter for Blaze. Blaze is a 4-year starter for the Dragons. As a freshman,
He plays a little bit of first base.
Ethan Wall goes to the mound. Alex goes to first base. Wall goes to the mound. Alex goes to first base. Blaze.
Yeah, this is
next Friday night.
Started with.
Yeah, it's going to be bittersweet to watch them graduate. No. Rock Hill's got 1 hit, don't they?
Yeah.
Next, let's see. Next,
we have quite a
to the grass. The steps to the press box. Now you didn't have to climb that scary ladder.
I was not going to agree to this if I had to climb a ladder to get up here. But yeah, the steps are nice.
They were. You know, when we built this press box back years ago, we were all young, dumb, and healthy, and
you had those good knees.
Yeah, I had those good knees. We thought, hey, it's a great idea to have a ladder. And then now that we got older and I got a lot more rounder, that ladder was not a good idea. So we had some new steps put in this past weekend, and we do appreciate those guys taking care of that and helping us out here a little bit. We lost a little bit of room, but I feel a whole lot safer when I come up the steps.
Yeah. And going down, for that matter.
Now batting the first baseman, number 15, Ethan Wall. Yeah, a whole lot safer going down. We start carrying equipment up here and hundreds of pounds of equipment. So going up and going down was a lot easier today. So Ethan Wall, left-hander, has got a couple home runs on the season. Been a pretty good player for the Dragons this year on the mound and in the batter's box.
He has. I think he's really come into his own a little bit.
Yeah.
But it helps. You know, you get to that junior year, you got a little experience under your belt.
And Ethan's a kid that plays. He's played a lot of baseball over the years. Known the family for several years. My wife and his aunt were best friends in high school and still really good friends. So followed his career since he was about 8 years old. And so he's played a lot of baseball and seen a lot of live pitches.
Stepping into the box here, looking like a major leaguer with that top button undone and his chains out.
That's right. He's only missing about 7 chest hair, and
yeah.
That's probably why he's got that T-shirt on. If he had that,
right.
Ethan draws a walk.
You know, I'm always struck watching baseball because in softball, like I'm 5'5", and I swing a 33-inch bat.
Right.
Good.
Now batting for the Dragons, the third baseman, number 14, Garrett Cornwell.
But a lot of these boys who tower over me, they're out here swinging 32-inch clubs.
Yeah.
And they look so small.
Garrett gets one up through. Nice. Barely under the third baseman's glove. We got runners on first and second. That's a big hit there from Garrett. Now batting the left fielder, number 24, Luke Brown.
It's a good spot to move runners.
Yes.
That 6-hole is a great spot when you've got somebody on first.
Right. Left fielder Luke Brown up to bat. Luke's a kid that handled a lot of the DH duties early on in the season. He's been getting some playing time here. See him looking down the third base line to Coach Clark, getting some signals. You know, we talked about this morning, Coach, about that's a caught ball last night in your game because there's so – and Ethan gets caught on the steal. Garrett moves to second. Anyways, we talked about this morning because the field is so much smaller. And so those kids don't have to move that much to get to those that's a
Yeah.
base hit here, but that's a caught ball last night.
Yeah, we're only 60 feet away. These boys have a little more space to work with.
Yep.
The game comes at you real fast on a softball field.
Strike 2.
I'm wondering what happened on that last play because those boys were going hard on the steal, and it makes you wonder if it was either a missed steal call or a missed bunt and run call.
I think as hard as he swung there, I think it was a hit and run. So he tried to make contact, just didn't make contact with that. When you're in that situation, it doesn't matter what it is. You've got to make contact in order so you don't kill your runners, basically.
Right.
So, but
My girls live in fear of me calling a suicide squeeze.
up the middle here, slow bouncer.
Shortstop coming across makes the play.
We got Garrett Cornwell advances to third. It's a second out of the inning. Now batting, the catcher, number 7, Cyrus Cummings.
I sometimes like to send them like little TikToks or YouTube videos of people having to dive like into the left-handed batter's box to get a bunt down to make sure the runner isn't caught stealing.
Cyrus looks at ball 1.
I've never called one yet, though.
You haven't called one yet?
Maybe next year.
I still wake up from nightmares of late May against this team, Rock Hill, 1995. We're down 1. My head baseball coach, Coach Snyder, calls a hit and run. I'm on third base. My best friend, Chuck Walters, in the batter's box, and he swings and hits a rope back up the middle. Come on. That is a
First.
run first. Anyways, back to that. He hits a shot back up the middle. Pitcher throws his glove up to get out of the way. Catches a ball, and I'm about 2 steps from home plate. Throws it to third, turns a double play. Ball game, we lose the league.
Oh,
so
gosh.
That
is painful.
It is really painful. Now batting the center fielder, number 25, Ben Southard. Ben Southard at the plate for the Dragons. Ben hadn't played baseball to this year. Come on, he's been a pleasant surprise for the Dragons. He's batted well in some key situations.
Yeah, he put in a lot of work over the offseason. Once he decided he was going to play, he teased me all last year, all during softball season. I'm playing baseball next year, Miss Hayes. I'm playing baseball. And I kept saying, okay, I'll believe it when I see it. You know, some of them just come and say that. But he showed up to their off-season workouts, and he's worked really, really hard because, you know, he's a golfer too. So that's a different swing.
Yes.
And he had to really just learn the baseball swing and be able to adapt. But he's got great hand-eye coordination. He's so fast.
Yes.
So, I mean, he's an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
So he, you know, with a little work, he's been able to be a real asset to this team.
Yes. 0-2 count. Southern here.
Oh.
And that's going to be strike 3. We go to the top 3. Fairland 1, Dragons nothing. Or I'm sorry, Fairland 1, Redmen nothing. Fairland strands 1 runner.
It's good to get on the board, take a little pressure off.
It is. I believe they are going 7, 8, 9, correct? Coming up? Please, what it is?
Harper Blag.
Yep. Harper and the Black, I'm going to say brothers. They may be cousins, but we're going to call them brothers tonight.
Listen, there's a few names in this area that they may not even be related at all, but there's just a lot of people.
There's a lot of, and that's there's some guys on here I played. Some last names on here I played with some guys by the McFans, the Braggs, the Shugs. So I'm sure this is just the second generation of those guys, and they were all great ball players, and I'm sure if this is their sons, they're great ball players too.
So as a pitcher, it's really important when you get to 7, 8, 9 to not lose focus here.
I agree.
These are, hopefully easier outs. And if Bryson can really dial in here, he could probably rack up a couple strikeouts or at least, force him into some softer hits for our defense to be able to handle. A lot of pitchers struggle here, though. they focus so hard on 1 through 4, and then they get to 7, 8, 9, and they let up a little, take their foot off the gas. So Bryson needs to dial in.
Right. And like you said, there's a reason they're hitting 7th, 8th, or 9th in the lineup.
Now batting the the right fielder, number 4, Braxton Harper.
Braxton Harper, the right fielder. He's made one big catch out there early in the 2nd inning for the Red Men. So he's a seventh batter in the lineup. So some new position for you this year, going to be the student council sponsor. Is that correct?
Yes.
What all does that? I know that I know that's a pretty hefty job, and I can only imagine the time. But what is that? What's that going to entail?
Well, I'm still learning just the breadth of how much Tara Sansom, who was the former sponsor who's going to be retiring this year, all of the things that she has just done and created. I have such big shoes to step into and try to fill over this next
It's a foot
year.
race. And Ethan Wall wins that foot race.
She's done blood drives. She's done food drives.
Now batting the left fielder, number 3, Ethan Blag.
She handles so many things throughout the year in the community. She helps at all the schools. So student council has their hand in a lot of things at Fairland. They run all of our special event weeks, like homecoming games, and all of the dress-up weeks. And I'm, looking at this list of things that she's done and just trying to wrap my mind around all of the things that we're about to be responsible for.
Yeah. There's a lot of those homecoming games and dress-up days. Those are important to the kids and to the staff. That's an opportunity for me to kind of relax a little bit and have a little bit of fun.
Yep.
A nasty, had been a slider, right? Not a curveball, because that had been a slider.
Listen, I'm still learning baseball pitching. You put me in front of a softball pitcher, I got you.
Right.
Baseball, everything's, I don't know, topsy-turvy for me.
I like this kid better not leave this green bat laying around all these Fairland kids. That thing will be. Oh.
Now that was a little bit inside.
That was just a little bit inside.
I feel like you probably should have taken that one.
Yeah.
We started a new thing with our team this year. I picked it up from the Oklahoma State coach at the clinic, Kenny Gajewski. And his comes from his tradition comes from his years in minor league baseball. But they get like a treat or something when they take a pitch. So I talked to my seniors, ball to the shortstop.
Blaze Perry with the 3rd out of the inning.
And they, during our senior meeting, they were like, we really want to incentivize like the little things. So we brainstormed and like, what can we do for getting hit by a pitch? And they call it a dose at Oklahoma State after his minor league coach would get them a Dos Equis and leave it in their locker. These are adult men, so it was allowed. But you can't really do that in high school.
Right.
So, we went back and forth, and I'm like, could it be a Gatorade or a juice box? And they're like, that doesn't sound good. And I was like, what about a hug? And they were like, what? We love hugs. Those little gross barrel juice box things. And then, it kind of became a joke because also it hurts to get hit by a pitch. So you get a hug, you get hit. We had one game where we had 3 girls in a row get hit. And they're like, you get a hug, you get a hug.
It'd be great. Maybe we should try that for Elle. My youngest daughter, she's running out of the batter's box before the pitcher ever gets in a windup. So maybe we start giving her hugs.
She might need a hug juice box and a real hug and
yes,
a hug from a celebrity.
Right.
She is nervous this year.
She is
so convinced that she's going to get hit again.
It's a funny story. I understand why she's scared to death. Her best friend was pitching to her, and she hit her. And I told her, I said, Allison, she won't hit you again, I promise. I said, it was an accident. And I'll be daggone if I didn't hit her the second at bat in that game. And the third at bat, she's screaming. I said, Allison, there's no way she can hit you the third time. First pitch, whack. So Allison will not get. She hates to get in the batter's spot.
Sometimes it happens like that. It's really hard to pitch to your friends, though.
It is.
Now batting the second baseman, number 13, Keegan Smith.
You are 100% correct. I think that's probably the hardest person to pitch to is your friend.
And it's because you start looking at them.
Right.
And if you're looking at them, you're going to throw at them.
Yes, I agree. I agree. My best friend, like I said, I mentioned him earlier there, Chuck, God bless his soul. He passed away this past winter. And I don't know how many times we faced each other, but I'd say he hit me 75% of the time.
Well, I mean, if you ask my team, overthrown by the second baseman. Keegan's on.
Keegan reaches on a throwing error.
See, I'm used to softball. In my head is, that's why we hustle. That's why we hustle.
Now batting for the Dragons, the pitcher, number 4, Bryson Hunt.
But, you know, back to getting hit. If you ask my team, they will tell you I've hit almost every single one of them because I'm trying to coach and I'm trying to watch them while I'm throwing batting practice, but I'm looking at them and then I hit them.
Bryson Hunt up to bat. Bryson hit a fly ball the first inning.
They know about Keegan.
Kiki there on first base. Got some speed to him.
He's always been a fun base runner to watch.
He has.
I mean, even when he was in Little League, he would have us rolling because he'd run all the way almost to home and then turn around and go back to third.
Yeah. I've seen him, not this year. I've watched some baseball games, but not a lot of them. But I know early in his career, I saw him almost pass, I believe it was Alex Morgan, in the third base path.
I think there's a picture of that somewhere.
Yes. Stolen base for Keegan. He's on second base. We got it was 1 ball, no strikes, or 1 ball, 1 strike.
Saw him out there shaking the dirt out of his belt. That was Tegan last night.
Yes.
She was wild on the base pass, and I don't think she's ever been that dirty in her whole life, but she was so good.
Yes. It seemed like every time the pitcher threw 4 straight, or catcher threw 4 straight at her down on the first baseline.
Pick her off. Yeah. She was having to dive in. She said that first baseman almost stepped on her fingers, but she was full of dirt.
She was.
That one comes high and inside on Bryson. It's always dangerous to duck out of the way like that. I feel like so many kids duck and then the ball hits their bat.
Hits their bat. My wife and I, we saw a video we were showing Yardley. A little kid was doing that. He kind of ducked and he hit his bat, popped right straight up, and the catcher caught it and got him out.
Jeez.
So you got to get out of there.
You better get down, Keegan.
Keegan gets caught stealing third. Full count. 1 out.
He tried to swim around that one a little bit, but we don't have the luxury of replay in high school, so we'll never know if he actually made it. Is there a little discrepancy over the count?
I had 3-2. Home plate had 3-2. The guy on first base had 3-2. Full count. So I'm not 100% sure. Bryson pops another one up.
Oh, man.
That one is coming off the moon. 2 outs for the Dragons.
Now batting the shortstop, number 17, Blaze Perry.
Blaze steps up to the plate. Playing shortstop tonight. He struck out. What did he do the first time?
Caught me off guard. He struck out looking.
Sorry, I'm trying to answer the age-old parent is so-and-so's softball cleats in your truck. I have no idea.
Might be.
It doesn't smell. My truck doesn't smell anymore, so I don't think they're in there anymore.
That is usually a good sign.
That's right.
Now, you know, I'm watching these boys, and I feel like they maybe are struggling with one of the things that my hitters also struggle with, and it's when you're looking for speed, but they catch you with an off speed, and then you're reaching for it, and you end up either out there on that front foot or popping it up a little bit, trying to just flick it with your wrists.
We go to the top of the 4th. Dragons up 1-0. what batters are coming up. Should be top of the order for them, if I'm not mistaken. Should be 1, 2, 3 coming up.
Game Changer's still kind of updating, but I think you're right, too. We went 7, 8,
I'm
9
pretty sure,
last
yeah.
inning.
Well, I need to give a huge shout out to my father-in-law, Patrick Wolf. We were a little bit delayed on getting the new scoreboard hung up. We were getting ready to put it up the day, April 2nd. Had my crews coming in. We had our electrician coming in. We had our sign crews coming in to hang the board at about 10:15-ish, maybe a little bit later, somewhere in that area. An F1 tornado hit the building that the scoreboard's hanging on. I know those guys were supposed to be here about noon to help me put that up, and we had to change plans quickly and delay that a little bit. It did blow the roof off of that building, displaced our grades 3 through 5. So after we kind of got that catastrophe took care of, it blew the roof off of your dugout.
It did, right into the house behind
Right
us.
into the house behind it. So we were able to finally get everybody back and get it hung up. And I'll get back to that in just 1 second.
Now batting the shortstop, number 2, Dylan Griffith.
And then we were able to get it wired to an outlet. And then my father-in-law, Patrick, come in today and got everything rewired and into the breaker box. So we are 100% officially installed over there.
It looks great. I've been so excited to see it over there because usually we just hear yelling from the baseball field. We don't know what's going on, but we can look up there and see the score from where it's positioned. Everybody in the field can see it. It's enormous.
Yeah. And that was the reason we decided. There were several people, well, let's put it in left field. Let's put it over in right field. And Drew and I sat down once he got hired, and I said, where do we think the best place for this is? And so everybody in this park can see it. If you're sitting out in right field along the fence, you can see it. If you're over to softball field, you can see it right where it's at. So that's why we decided to put it there. And it looks great. It looks fantastic over there. Everybody that's come in has really bragged on how well it looks over there.
It's been exciting. You know, a lot of people don't know, but you were playing storm chaser that day.
I was. Listen, they could have redid Twister that day. I was out here. I was actually on this baseball field. Was doing some work. Had mowed earlier that morning, even though it was about 10 when that thing come through, and I was dragging the infield. It was between first and second when it hit. I turned and saw the roof of the west building peel off, and was just hunker down and hope to make it through.
I can imagine.
Now batting the pitcher, number 1, Dawson Lewis.
Almost just rolled down his back there, but somehow he was able to get through, and I think it scared him to death. Anyways, back to that. I was able to hunker down in the dugout over there, and made it through. So
Thank goodness.
that's right. Foul ball down the third baseline.
Well, Bryson's racked up 4 strikeouts so far, and he's at about 37 pitches. So far, so good.
He's throwing the ball. He's throwing the ball pretty well.
I mean, I will say I don't really have to manage pitch counts the way baseball does. We talk about pitch counts, we talk about innings, but Kaylee throws a lot of pitches every game. But this feels like Bryson's, managing pretty well through 4 right now.
Two, the count.
The outside corner has been a successful spot for both pitchers so far.
It has been. And I will say, field looks pretty daggone good for as much rain as we've got in the last foul ball. As much rain as we've got in the last 48 to 72 hours.
Yeah, I know Drew was working hard on it. I was looking out my window this morning at the senior prank that wasn't quite a prank, and I saw him roll through about 8:30.
Yeah, he was here at about 8:30. I got out here just a little bit after 9 and started working on the sound system. We had a little slight issue with the sound system. I was able to get it back up, and Drew was working the whole time. And like I said, field looks infield looks really good for as wet as it was at 8:30 this morning. The amount of water was standing on it. They did him and Dakota and several of the parents were out here, did a great job of getting it ready to play. Oh.
So I assume that baseball tournament games have the same rules as us.
Yes.
They have to get it ready, or else
Yeah.
they have to go there. Right.
And that's what I told. Yeah, that's what I told him. I told him on Monday. I said, "Listen, Bubby, we got to figure out how we can get our field ready because Rock Hills is going to be ready to play."
Right.
So we said we got to do what we. I was talking to him on the way back from your game last night, and said, "Hey, when do you want to try to pull tarps and get things started?" Base hit by Lewis, helping himself out a little bit.
Now batting the first baseman, number 21, Brady Cremines.
Strikeout last time?
Flew out to
Flew
the
out.
right fielder.
Right field. Oh, that's right. Carson on the big run back. Not as successful as he was the last time getting him, but stolen base.
Looks like he learned his lesson to wait for time to be called before he stood up.
I think it was a strike, wasn't it?
I couldn't
Strike.
see it.
Again, we have several things going on up here. I'm trying to run the scoreboard, trying to announce, trying to talk to you guys, and Coach Hayes is just running around like a chicken with her head cut off, trying to keep me organized.
Scrolling the game changer plays,
That's
looking
right.
for information, pulling up some backs preps,
Right.
whatever we can.
Yep. Ball gets by. Cyrus Cummings.
You just got to work with what you got.
That's right. Lewis advances to third on the pass ball. Been getting some updates from the track meet. I know Molly Dunlap jumped 16 foot 6 1/2 inches,
Jeez.
which was her personal best this year. They're in the district finals up there.
We're at a 1-2 count. I think we're going to see Bryson look to maybe mix in some junk here.
Yeah.
Up and out.
Bryson has one. His curveball is on. It is nasty. I've seen that make some kid dive out of there and just right across the middle of the plate.
So a curveball in baseball dives 12-6, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The slider's the other way.
Okay.
Nice play.
Got him.
Double. Great play by Blaze Perry there. Great awareness.
He had a moment of excitement. Gonna chase him down, but
Just a great
Double.
all-around play right there. So, again, almost identical to the hit and run that I was caught up in. And
yeah, that's some bad luck right there.
yeah. So, but
We've got 3, 4, 5 coming up. Alex Morgan, Ethan Wall, Garrett Cornwell. This is the part of your lineup where you look to really pour some runs on.
yeah, this is where you want to get some base runners on and go. Dragons are up 1-0. We're in mid-4th inning here in the high school sectional final game.
Alex is probably going to come in looking to be a little more selective after that first strikeout. Ethan was successfully selective in his first walk, and then Garrett Cornwell was able to put the ball in that 6 hole. So we should see some action here in this inning.
And I'd mentioned that Molly Dunlap had that 16 foot 6 1/2 inch long jump. That made her the district champion, qualifying for the regional championship next week
That's really exciting.
in Muskegon, Ohio, on the University of Muskegon. I was looking, I got the picture had finally loaded. I was getting ready to look and see what the brackets look like for the boys here. Also want to congratulate Ben or Connor Black. Ben was his dad. It was my age. Connor Black, placing third in the pole vault on Tuesday at the district meet. He's a regional qualifier. So we got Mr. Morgan leading off.
Leading off for the Dragons, the designated hitter, number 22, Alex Morgan.
Like you said, Alex is the DH. He's had that role for at least the last 2 years, I know.
Yes.
Let's see. The winner of this game will take on the winner of Zane Trace Chesapeake on 5/21 at 4 o'clock at Paint Stadium.
Okay, that's right, because the boys were telling me that the team that Chesapeake was playing has a pretty excellent record.
Yes. Zane Trace was I'm not, let's see what seed were they? Were a 2 seed. Zane
Okay.
Trace was a 2 seed. Strike number 2. One ball, 2 strikes to Alex. Ball inside, 2-2.
It's pretty far inside, although I'm a little surprised if they see him as a pull hitter to throw him inside like
Yeah.
that. That's taking a chance.
Inside,
Yeah, but
full
maybe
count.
they want him to worry about his knees for a minute.
Yeah. Over into the slow roller into the Rock Hill dugout. That's kind of been some changes that Drew's made a few minor little changes. One of them is the height of his infield was the last few years was mowed down really short. And in talks with him, he said, let's let it grow a little bit so we can get some infield hits.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now batting for the Dragons, the first baseman, number 15, Ethan Wall.
So Alex comes away with a walk after those 2 early strikes.
Ethan Wall at the mount, at the plate. Another left-handed, big left-handed batter. You talked about with this group, just getting base runners, and Alex was able to draw a walk there.
On our team, we say we need you on by any means.
Right.
You know, I need him to be patient, especially, you know, we're late in the 4th. You want to see some pitches. You want to draw things out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's not to say that I don't want them to hit, but, you know, we want
Right.
quality at-bats at that
Yep.
point. And you got to kind of make the pitcher work for it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't go up there and just swing it 3 straight and 3 bad ones, I guess I should say, and go back to the dugout and aggravated because you didn't be selective.
Right.
I felt like later in the game, your players become very selective last night, and we got runners where we needed, and tying run coming to the plate, and yeah, we're just going to say we're going to leave it at that. Unfortunately.
Yep. That was a rough one. I just keep watching it over and over again.
Coming to the plate, the third baseman, number 14, Garrett Cornwell.
Garrett had a big hit up the middle last at bat.
Garrett's got some real power if he can barrel one up here.
Yes. Garrett's got 1 home run on the year down at Chesapeake. He had a big hit down there. Now, it didn't go out of the park, but it went to kind of an odd corner in that park, and he was able to leg one out inside the park down there. Strike 1, looking to Garrett. Kind of gives the umpire a little nod there. Pitch number 2 to Garrett. Inside again. He seems to be throwing left-handed batters. He was throwing inside of them. Right-handed batters, now he's throwing inside.
Yeah, I mean, Garrett put that ball in the 6 hole to start. I'm wondering about the strategy here.
Back to about the same spot. Bobbled that one. Still got him out.
But we're moving runners.
Moving runners.
We can get one of these next couple hitters to put one in a gap, score some runs.
Now batting the left fielder, number 24, Luke Brown.
Luke Brown, the left fielder, struck out last time.
Caught me off guard.
My stat keeper here is atrocious tonight.
So bad. I gotta keep scrolling because it keeps updating. I'm losing it.
I can't remember if he struck out or hit into.
He ground out to the shortstop.
Ground out.
That was the at-bat where Ethan was caught stealing.
Oh,
He had
yes.
Cornwell at second.
Yes, you're right.
I know they've tried this season to really work on that hit and run. And they've had some successes and some failures at
Some
it.
failures.
But it's really effective when it works.
I believe he was trying to throw me either a knuckleball or a curve there that
Got away from him a little
got
bit.
away from him just a little bit. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. 2 strikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Luke.
Alex is down here getting his lead off with like a stutter step, trying to get attention from this pitcher. I don't know what's going to happen if he gets the attention.
Yeah, me either. Foul ball. Now, do you think I see their catcher has a intercom on where they're calling pitches and things like that? Is that in softball yet or not?
The colleges are using it. That might be a little out of our price range right now. You know, we're focused on field improvements.
Right.
But I don't know how it's going to be going forward. That's a great spot. Fair ball?
That was fair ball.
Fair
fair
ball.
ball.
Heck yeah. Come on, Ewald.
Come on, get down, get down.
He's safe at the plate.
Safe. Great play right there. Dragons pick up 2 runs.
That blooper right down the right field line is such a good spot.
Yeah. Listen, I think, now the sun's kind of in our eyes, I think that hit right on the line.
It was very close.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk to you, New Year's. Last count I had wrote down was 10 adults, 6 students.
Okay.
But there should be a little bit more, because I didn't do the last 2 or 3.
10 and 6.
So you count the money and figure it out.
Let's see. We have.
Yeah.
Now batting for the Dragons, the catcher, number 7, Cyrus Cummings.
He singled last time.
Singled.
So
See, look at
basic.
8. My stat keeper's awake this time. Singled last time. Yes. Another big hit right up the hole here. You got the lead runner. I don't, Coach
Calling time?
Barry wants to come out and.
Oh, are we looking for an interference call?
Listen,
No.
I haven't seen.
Surely not.
I haven't seen 2 all year, and I saw 5 last night. Crazy. I don't know what Coach Little wants to talk about over there. He's not happy about whatever.
He didn't like Luke Brown staying up going into second with the potential for that double play on. I don't know what he's going to argue for it, but
Right. I don't. It doesn't look like that. He's going to ask the home dugout for. Some help.
I mean, admittedly, I wasn't watching Luke that closely, but I don't even, with the way that ball was hit, I don't even know that he was close enough to slide yet.
Right. Not me either.
So, I mean, it'll be interesting to hear what they call here.
Right. I agree. Does the three officials get together and talk about it?
If last night had never happened, I would say that's absurd
And
to look
they
at this.
have officially called Luke out.
No interference.
No interference.
From the coach's reaction, at least.
Yeah. So.
Now batting for the Dragons, the center fielder, number 25, Ben Southern.
Now, Ben struck out looking on that outside strike in his last at bat.
Yes, he
so
did. Yes, he did.
I'm going to guess he had a conversation about just that.
Oh, just that. And fly out to center field. And we are going to the fourth. Or we're going to the fifth, sorry. Going to the fifth inning. Top 5 here. Dragons are up 3-0 over the Rock
Still a
Hill.
little closer than,
Right.
you'd
Yes.
see.
A lot closer than the 16-4 down there. Here was pretty close, though. I think here it was only maybe 5-2, 5-3. I can't remember.
I think it ended up, we looked it up today, I think it ended up around 7-2 when
7
it
to
was all
2.
said and done. But I think it felt a little closer
Yeah.
than that.
Bryson, how many pitches?
Bryson is now, let it update for just a second. The game changer's a little behind. It's out there sending Ben's hit out. Sometimes the cell phone signal gets a little wild. On
Right.
Let's see, maybe the box score's got it for us. It looks like he's up at 49 pitches, 37 strikes.
And that's for going in through 4 innings. And what'd you say? How many pitches?
49,
49.
37 strikes.
So, I mean, not too bad, not too shabby. He's been throwing well. Cyrus Cummings got his stuff on, ready to go. What batters we got coming up for them? 4, 5, 6, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yes,
got,
there were 30.
Jay
4, 5,
Fox
6.
coming up.
Yep. 4, 5, 6 coming up. Jake Fox, the third baseman.
Leading off the inning for the Redmen, number 30, the third baseman, Jake Fox.
Third baseman, number 30, Jake Fox, leading off the inning for Rock Hill. Strike one.
Oh, I just saw in my text messages Jerry was trying to get me to when it was jumping around.
Yeah, it was. I don't know what he just called there. So I know
Yeah,
it's
if I sit back, I
Bluetooth.
can't see the plate. So.
Yeah. Well, I put that TV monitor right in your way, hoping that we were going to be able to watch it. But I think I've watched more of the game than
Yeah.
that monitor. It's a little bit different. Yeah, we do apologize for our technical difficulties early there. I think we got them all worked out. I may have had too many devices running on my cell phone. We do not have actually hardwired internet in the softball and baseball, so we have to run it off my personal account, internet account, and sometimes I get too many devices running and it kind of slows it down. Keegan Smith fields a ground ball, throws it to Ethan Wall for out number 1 of the inning.
Yeah, these press boxes are just far enough from the buildings.
Now batting the center fielder, number 27, Jason McFan.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, whatever the length is, we walk out of here and walk about 3 steps and we get wireless internet on our phones. But unfortunately, we can't pick it up with our streaming devices that we use. So, Mr. Carroll, or one of our other partners that does a lot of streaming with us, him and Miss Leap are at the Collins Career Center completion services tonight. Kids graduating from Collins Career Center, they're down at Ironton Tank Stadium for their graduation tonight. At least they got some. Oh, great. Absolutely great play by Ethan Wall there.
You can see the remnants of the field being so wet, he slipped a little
Slipped a
there
little
in that
bit.
swampiness
Yeah.
where you can see they kind of got the water off the field a little, but it's hanging out in the grass.
I think it's because his jersey was unbuttoned, 3 buttons, and that ball kind of caught him.
Yeah, that's what it was. Maybe the wind caught him a little.
We got it a little bit. Yeah, it is pretty soggy right there by first base where he's at.
Now batting the catcher, number 10, Drew Shug.
Catcher Drew Shug up to bat. Fouls one off into the parent section over here, right into the front of them. Wake them up. I heard a couple people holler.
Yeah, he
Kinda-
struck out swinging last time, so he's looking to hit.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Got a 1-1 count on the catcher. Curveball for strike 2.
Should have gotten my pocket radar from Drew. We could get some really good
Oh, we could
metrics up
have.
here.
We could have.
I know Bryson's up there with our speedier
Mm-hmm.
pitchers.
Another foul ball into the parking lot. Ooh,
Got it.
that must hit a car. I heard people holler ooh,
The cars
and
are really pretty far away too.
yeah, and everybody looked that direction. So, again, we are not Fairlawn High School is not responsible for any damage to vehicles. If you park over there, you park it on your own.
That was a nice pitch from Bryson. Up
That
and
was a
in.
great
Got him
pitch.
swinging.
To end the inning. It must have did some damage to the vehicle over there. They're all kind of looking over and hollering and pointing. So I don't know what it hit. I'm a little bit scared to go out of the press box and look here, but we'll figure it out.
Fairland's got 9-1-2 coming up, so
9-1-2.
we're gonna lead off with Keegan Smith, and getting him on, like we talked about earlier. He's a great base runner. Getting him on, top your lineup behind him. That's like having a double lead off,
It
and
is.
they really could look to capitalize, move people around.
And Keegan got on last time, threw out at third trying to steal. But again, great opportunity for the Dragons to maybe tackle on a couple insurance runs here. Up 3-0, middle of the 5th right now. Again, they will play the 21st at Paint Stadium against the winner of Chesapeake Zane Trace. It's being played currently at Zane Trace High School up in Chillicothe. So
That'll feel like a home game for Zane.
yeah, Zane Trace is going to try. It's we've kind of been through this year. Girls basketball, we played Union Odo at Richmond-Dale Southeastern. They traveled about 8 miles.
About
down-
11 minutes.
Yeah, 11 minutes down there to Southeastern. And then when we went to Zanesville, our first opponent, let's see, we played Sheridan in the final. Whoever the first opponent was, they traveled about 9 miles to Zanesville, and then Sheridan traveled about 12, while we traveled 3 days.
It did feel like that.
Yeah.
Leading off the inning, the second baseman, number 13, Keegan Smith.
We made the drive for the 2 games before that last Zanesville game, and we were up at State Wrestling,
Yes.
and we were even closer, but we were still like a full hour away.
Yeah.
Coming to the plate for the Dragons, the pitcher, number 4, Bryson Hunt.
Yeah, we made that over from the state wrestling for the regional final game. And even though you're in Columbus and you're only about an hour away, it still seemed forever. I think I drove about 1,000 miles that week. It was crazy.
Yeah, that was a lot. It's hard because you're out there doing great things. Your kids are just killing it. CJ's up there getting second at state.
Yep.
The girls are winning through, getting back to the state final 4. Like, it's exciting. But,
Right.
oh, is it exhausting?
It was exhausting. It was exhausting. We went to Zanesville twice. We went to Columbus twice.
Nice spot,
Nice.
Bryson.
Good hit for Bryson. Gets a runner on. Blaze Perry coming to the plate.
At the plate, the shortstop, number 17, Blaze Perry.
Well, we got the base runner on. We got the speedster. Let's see if Lewis pays as much attention to him as he did in the first inning and
Yeah.
throws over there 3 or 4 times. Dragons up 3-0 still.
Blaze is 0 for 2 right now. He's had 2 strikeouts, so
He's due.
he is due.
Yep, there. I'm going to try to hold him on a little bit. Hold him a little closer. Looks over to get some signs from Coach Clark. We'll try again.
They really want to pick off, don't they?
They want to try to keep him close for getting picked off. Feel like it's taking leap all over again. Over there. And Bryson's in, standing up. Ball 1 to the batter.
Yeah, I mean, the difference with softball is we don't lead off before the pitch, so our
Right.
pickoffs are coming from the catcher instead of the pitcher, and it's a little different look. But again, we're only 60 feet away, so life
Right.
comes at you fast.
It does. It,
And that catcher really wanted Tegan last night.
she did.
Oop.
Bunt. Fouled back into the backstop.
Thank goodness for small mercies, hitting the fence.
Yes.
It's a
Yeah.
clear foul. Although baseball has this net that hangs out over their plate, so
Right.
that kind of takes the catcher out in a way a little bit.
He does here. We had several years ago, even before I played, we had a little situation here, and they had to put a net over the top to keep balls from going back over. But Fairland's still been pretty successful
Yeah.
as a baseball program. Bryson steals second.
You know, down at Little League, they also have a net out over their field. And somehow the other night, a girl hit a ball perfectly straight up in the air that looked like it was going to spin back, but then it just stayed totally
yes.
straight and just didn't miss the net a little bit. And they were able to get an
Yeah.
out for it. And I just was so shocked because usually they're spinning so hard, you know.
Yeah, it was. I was crazy. I was standing right beside you when that happened. I was like, "Holy cow!" I believe it's full count.
Good at bat.
Good at bat. We got runners on first and third with Alex Morgan coming to the plate.
Late in the game.
Now batting, the designated hitter, number 22, Alex Morgan.
Late in the game, nice and patient.
Asking for the signals again, looking at his play card.
Oh, they're going to put on a first and third play here.
Yeah, first and third.
We're about to find out what blue is.
But yeah, are we going to throw?
What sneaky thing they think they're going to do.
Yeah. Let's find out.
Which is dangerous with Bryson Hunt's speed on third.
Yes. Blue is just let him go. Let's not worry about it.
Oh, gosh. Turns out it was not a sneaky play.
It was not. It was not. Let's let him go. Uh-oh.
Oh, here we go, run down. You know, at the clinic this year, the coaches were talking to us about aggressive base running, and
What's the count?
they're talking to us about aggressive base running, and, you know, they cited this statistic that, like, 75% or something of these rundowns end up in the runner being safe. And I'm telling you right now, that never happens for us.
Right. Alex Morgan with a rip up the middle. I'm not 100% sure that count was 1-0 on that right there because I thought he threw one and then
I think he threw two.
he threw
I think
two, but he
balls.
was still saying, yeah, that's what I had. But no, we're going to top six because he threw one on the
Threw one
steal
on the
and then the
on
second
blue.
on blue. Yeah.
And then he threw out again, and that was
Yes.
the rundown, and then that was the third pitch.
So, but, you know, going to the top of the six.
Oh, it looks like we've got a celebrity guest
Celebrity
here.
guest up here.
Former Dragon, Alex Rogers.
Alex Rogers, home from sophomore year at Miami or freshman year? Sophomore year.
I'm going to hand over my headset.
Miami of
Talk to him.
Ohio. We'll get him on here. We'll talk a little baseball. Probably talk about what he's doing at Miami. Seen he was recently elected to a position at Miami of Ohio.
Yeah, that's right. Our Honors Student Advisory Board, so kind of like our student council for the Honors College. I got elected to an executive position in there.
What details or what are you responsible for in that position?
So kind of within the organization, we have a bunch of different teams. So we have like a team that focuses on student-faculty relations. We have a team that plans social events. And so my job is to oversee a couple of those teams, basically, kind of be the bridge between the team and the rest of the executive board.
Now batting the right fielder, number 4, Braxton Harper.
So enjoying yourself down at Miami?
Absolutely. It's a good time. Good to be home. I just got home late last night, so.
I'm glad you're having success down there. I haven't been down there since Ben Roethlisberger was playing quarterback at Miami of Ohio.
Yeah, he's still a celebrity up there. You can't go into a restaurant or an athletics facility and not see a Roethlisberger jersey.
I'm sure.
I'm a Steelers guy, so I don't mind it.
I went down and watched the battle between him and Chad Pennington and the infamous Wind Bowl down there. Strike 3. So, Alex, talk a little bit about coming back to watch the Dragons. You know, what's it mean to you to be able to come back and be able to watch Dragon baseball a little bit?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun tonight. This is the first time I've been able to get down and see them. Like I said, I just got home last night. Miami uses like the latest academic calendar. So I didn't get to come see him over spring break. So this is the first one I've seen in person.
Great play by Garrett Cornwell out there.
Looks like, I mean, they've swung it well tonight, playing good defense. Couple base running mistakes. Could probably easily have 5 or 6 runs, but they look pretty good.
Yeah. They've matured as the season went on. They were young, not in age-wise, but in experience. Sure. They were young early on, and they've matured pretty well and playing some pretty good baseball right now. First pitch to Connor Blagg, the second baseman.
Now batting number 5, the second baseman, Connor Blagg.
Little different view. I've been sitting out in right field. Fastball's got a little more pop to it when you're sitting right behind home plate. Stuff looks good.
Looks a little bit different, doesn't it? Ooh. I don't know how that did. Again, that's the second one we saw up here. I don't know how it did not hit him. A 2-1 count. 3-1.
It's like he's standing up a little bit and losing the breaking ball high. Kind of tried to overcorrect there. Bryson's had good stuff since he was a freshman, so.
He's got we were talking about, Coach Hayes and I were talking about it earlier, real good breaking ball.
Yeah. Yeah, he always has it. And it looks like tonight, too, you know, kind of as he was younger, struggled at times to locate the breaking ball. But, man, when it's in the zone, it's really good.
Yeah. He really come on late last year with that breaking ball, and Coach Hill bragged a lot on him, and Drew has bragged a lot on him this year too. As we go into the bottom of the 6th, Dragons up 3-0. What batters are up, statistician, even though she's behind me here?
Oh, wait, it's our guys coming up.
Should be 4, 5, and 6.
4, 5, and 6 coming up. Ethan Wall, Garrett Cornwell, and Luke Brown. So Alex, what are you majoring in down there?
I am a political science and philosophy major. Philosophy's kind of new. Thanks to kind of the way Fairland does College Credit Plus classes, I was really far ahead when I got there. I got to go to Miami on a good scholarship that lasts me 8 semesters, so I'm kind of just finding things to do to make sure I'm there for all 8 semesters, which took the form of a second major in philosophy. And then eventually will try and get to law school. So,
well, it's interesting. Law school. I think you'll be a great lawyer. What little bit I've been around you and stuff, I think you're going to have a very successful career there, and we look forward. Hopefully, I never have to use you for anything.
well, that would be ideal, right?
That's right. That's what a few students that I've known as becoming lawyers, I said, well, I hope you're successful, but I hope I never have to use you for anything either.
Yeah. Try and think that, sports didn't develop too many arguing skills, but they develop a few.
Yes.
You develop some pet peeves.
Well, I think it's the competitiveness, the drive to win.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's what it comes down to in these playoff games too. Yeah. These games are always a little more low scoring, 3-0 tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Now batting the first baseman, number 15, Ethan Wall.
Again, I haven't had the best view, but it looks like this kid from Rock Hill's done a nice job tonight too, kind of mixing speeds and haven't gotten a ton of comfortable swings off. It doesn't look like.
He's through pretty well. I don't know exactly what grade he's in, but he looks like a younger kid. But he's pitched well. Foul ball. Hey, and you mentioned it there. A lot of your playoff games are just low-scoring, grinded-out games.
Absolutely.
Because there's so much on the line. There's no tomorrow.
Right, and you're not going to get that kind of weird pop-up midweek game where you've got a big conference game on the backside of it, and you've got like my number one pitcher's available, but I got to save him, and you end up throwing like your 4. You end up with like a number 4 against a number 4, and that game ends up 8-6 or 10-8, and you just don't really get that here. It's a number 1 or a number 2 pretty much.
Yep. And that's kind of how high school. Your first 2 or 3 games, your number 1's pretty much going to be available for you. Mm-hmm. But then when you get to that regional, you better have a couple horses in the stable because you're going to have to play them back-to-back nights.
Absolutely. That's what, that last run we went on, we went up and played Liberty Union, I think was the name, and they had Jacob Miller, who ended up getting drafted by the Marlins in the second round. He was their ace, but we saw their second guy, and he was kind of just as nasty. It was he wasn't much fun either.
Yeah. He was their number 2, but he'd been a lot of people's number 1.
Absolutely.
Get through. He's going to leg that one out.
Turn into a single, but I think that's through the infield. Most other days, the grass has killed a few hits tonight.
Yeah. And that was one of the things that we talked with Coach Clark a little bit, and he said, let's let it dry, let's let it grow, and we want some length to it, so maybe we can leg out some runs like that. Or
I can say I never liked that much as an infielder. I did not. When it's long like this, you got to come get everything.
Right.
And I'd take a hard one hopper that I can be patient with over that kind of one you've got to run in and break down on any day of the week. Those are tough.
Strike 1 to Garrett.
Now batting the third baseman, number 14, Garrett Cornwell.
Now, I know that pitches or throws over to first base doesn't count on your pitch count, but I would say that's probably his, 20th one tonight?
Both guys have, but I mean, they've both done a really nice job of it. That's the other thing with these games that are low scoring. You can't let singles turn into doubles because you're not holding runners. You got to be careful to try and keep them close. And I know there was a caught stealing at second there in the first inning after Bryson had thrown over a number of times. You get that guy diving back and hustling back, and then when he does go to take off, he's maybe a little winded or he's kind of leaning back towards the base because he doesn't want to get picked off. So it's when you have these low-scoring games, definitely really important to try and hold the runners.
Great block by the catcher here, Shug. They're getting out in front of that ball, keeping in front, keeping Ethan Wall at first base. Must have been just a little outside. Got 2-1 count to Garrett. We just turned into some great baseball weather tonight, or this morning. I was a little bit worried. Had a little bit of fog laying in on. I thought, man, it's going to be a nasty day.
I was driving by. This is the first time I've been home since what happened to the West, and so I wanted to drive by and look at it. And Coach Clark was out here, so I got to stop by and talk to him, and he was he was working then. Good pitch there. He was working then to try and get it dry. He's like, man, I think just a little sun and wind, and we'll be able to play. And
Unfortunately, that sun didn't kick out to about
no,
3
it did
o'clock.
not.
Now batting the left fielder, number 24, Luke Brown.
Yeah, the West looks really good now compared to what it did
Yeah.
on April 2nd.
Yeah, those pictures were a sight.
Yes. We were able to kind of pick up the pieces. We moved our 5th grade to our high school in some open rooms we had there, and 3rd and 4th went back up to the elementary school. Tara Sampson and the student council, the administrators, all of them jumped in over spring break and helped move those kids around. And
Yeah,
we missed minimal.
Yeah, that's what I was telling. I sent my friends pictures and it was like, I'm just, good thing nobody was there. Good thing that it was the first day of
Yes.
spring break and not a week earlier, a week later. So
Yes, I agree. Home plate umpire going over to have a discussion with Barry. He had challenged a similar situation 2 innings ago. I don't know whether he's still stuck on that or.
I'm not. I wasn't sure of the rule on that. I don't know if. I think you do have to kind of get out of the way if you're going into second. You either have to slide or kind of veer off.
Right.
I know that there was. I'm guessing he wanted the automatic double play
Yes.
earlier in the game. Didn't get it.
Yep.
Now batting the catcher, number 7, Cyrus Cummings.
Yeah, Coach Hayes and I were talking. We'd seen enough interference calls last night to last us a lifetime, so we didn't want to have to deal with them today. Ball 1, Cyrus. We've got Luke Brown now on first base. Strike. So, Alex, talk to us a little bit about that pitcher's mentality right now. If you're in this situation, you're down 3-0, just about getting outs.
Yeah, once in this situation, everything you're thinking about is like I just want to minimize. I've maybe made a couple pitches I'm not happy with, or whatever's happened. We're down 3 late. The big thing you have to do is like you've really just got to focus. You got to keep it at 3. You can't let the 2 runs you gave up in the 4th or the 1 in the 2nd. You can't let that creep in, and then the next thing you know, it's 5 or 6.
Right.
3 is you feel like you're in it. You get it to 5 or 6, you start to feel a little out of it. So just trying to get your guys back in the dugout as fast as possible, get them to swing the bats. Just trying to really do everything you can to keep it at 3.
Right. Now, shoes on the other foot. You're up 3-0. What's your mentality?
Kind of in the same vein, you want to get one more, I think, at 3. Obviously, at this point in the game, you're just trying to get kind of one at a time. Now,
Right.
Here you've got 2 outs and a guy at first. So really, if Cyrus could get into one, anything to the wall, you probably want to try and score that guy at first. But, just trying to not let that guy get you in the dugout. It's a good pitch right there.
Good pitch. Brings up the 3rd out.
Yeah, and then so if you're Rock Hill here, you want to get the first guy on. You got to get that first guy on, and it's all about base runners until you're in a spot where you can drive and run. So whoever that leadoff guy is, he's got to come up and try and see some pitches. He may even take until he gets a strike. But you got to do whatever you can to get base runners, get up on the plate a little bit, don't get out of the way, things like that.
Right. And I think you got to start being, at this point in time, you're going into the we're going into the 7th inning, right? Going into the top 7? Top 7, right? As we go into that top 7, you got to be really selective in your pitches. You don't want to be swinging.
You can't give them outs.
Right.
You got to make them get you out. Balls in play, make them, as an infielder here, it's easy to get maybe a little lax because you've got a lead, or it's late in the game in a playoff game. It's easy to get a little bit tight.
Right.
So you want to make them get you out.
I know from a basketball standpoint, you always wanted to be down. I always felt like you wanted to be either tied or down going into the 4th. When I say down, not 30 or 40, but a few points, because the team that's up becomes really tense. And you're trying to do everything in the world to not lose a game. And so that's where the mistakes start coming. And then, it's easier for that team that's down to play a little bit more relaxed and go get it. So
Yeah, absolutely. And Coach Hayes just showed me Bryson's stat line that what I was saying a second ago is going to be easier said than done. He hasn't given up a free pass all night.
don't jinx him, man. Come
Knock
on.
on wood. I knocked on wood. When Coach Hill was here with our staff, I mean, that was huge for us. It was, if you give up hits, it's fine. Like, I've always thought, you've hits, walks, and errors are the three ways guys can get on, and you can survive one of those. Sometimes you can get lucky with two. If you have all three, it gets tough. So
Don't give him anything easy.
Absolutely.
They can earn it.
Now batting the shortstop, number 2, Dylan Griffith.
They're going to be top of the order, 1, 2, 3 here for Bryson Hunt. Ball 1.
So I would imagine he's going to take until he gets a strike.
I would think that would kind of be the.
But at the
philosophy.
same time, I mean, he did jump on the very first pitch of the game. So
Right,
kinda,
he
you
did.
have a first ball hitter, you may tell him just to swing away. Yeah, there you go.
And there you go. Yep, in the gap.
Shows what I know. Oh, that's an aggressive, yeah. That would've
Oh, so you
been,
better hold him up.
that
yeah.
was going to be an aggressive stretch there when you need base runners.
Right.
Now batting the pitcher, number 1, Dawson Lewis.
Like you said, I thought he was going to try to be overly aggressive to try to get second.
Yeah,
It wasn't
there's
going to be a good idea.
There's no reason for that.
Right.
You need 3. Getting yourself out at second doesn't really help anybody
Right.
there. So, good decision. I don't know if it was him or his first base coach yelling at him, but whoever got him to stay at first, I think that's a good decision there. So
Ooh.
kind of with what we were talking about a second ago, if you're Bryson here, you really want to go right at these guys.
Yeah.
Ground ball back to you, ground ball up the middle. Try and get that double play. And as an infielder, you're kind of thinking differently. You got to make sure you get an out right now.
Right. Ball.
Also think with being up 3 here, you worry about that runner a little less.
Right.
If he gets to second again, they've got a long way to go. So right at these guys, try and kind of force some contact. He's out of the slide step right now. It's easy out of the slide step to kind of stay up too tall, leave that ball up.
Almost felt like they thought he was going to steal there.
I don't know. Again, kind of in the same as the turn. I
Right.
just don't think it does you a ton of good.
No.
If he gets there, great. But if you get him thrown out,
Then you're right.
You're really kind of in a world of hurt. So you got your leadoff guy on. I wouldn't worry about him too much as the pitcher. And I think if you're Rock Hill, you're pretty content to leave him over there.
Yeah. 3 balls, no strikes.
I knocked on wood, but here we
Yeah, here we go.
We've got a 3-ball count.
It's kind of like he was talking about the no hitter there.
Yeah.
Give it up. That's the first free base of the game.
Yep.
For,
So now you've got a really interesting one if you're Rock Hill too. Do you bunt here?
right. Got to get guys in scoring position now.
I think that's I'm not sure what I would do. I think it kind of depends on the hitter. I don't know what he's done tonight.
Pitch 1 on his way here. Ball inside.
Now batting the first baseman, number 21, Brady Cremines.
Yeah. So
Trying to be patient here.
he's 0 for 2 tonight. I might think about bunting.
I don't think he's.
He's not showing it at all.
No, I think he's thinking walk.
Yeah,
Here's
absolutely.
what he's thinking.
Be interesting if he gets a strike if they decide to change, but
Yeah.
kind of want to make him throw. I like the idea of giving your hitter 1. Kind of if he comes up, let him get that strike on him. If he swings through it or he takes it or he hits a foul ball, and then once he gets a strike, then you've got the bunt, and then let him kind
Right.
of try and protect with 2. But like you said, he seems pretty content to stand there.
Stand there with his bat on the shoulder there. And I figure that's what his coach told him. Hey, be patient. Yep. Ball 3.
Just needs to step back and take a deep breath here. Looks like he's in a little bit of a hurry. His pitch, he's only at 80 pitches, so I would imagine he's still feeling pretty fresh. Just There you go.
Strike. Good pitch.
Sometimes as a pitcher, it just takes one to, like, okay, that's the release point right there.
Got bases loaded here for Rock Hill.
Now batting the third baseman, number 30, Jake Fox.
I don't
And a
got
little,
her infield in. I'm not sure.
yeah, little situation here with the bases loaded. I think maybe we're thinking we're going home with this ball. High infield, grass high infield. Move them in a little bit.
That is the nice thing with it playing a little slower. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're going to back up.
Back
now.
up a little bit.
My thought is, if you bring them in, you open some gaps. And now all of a sudden that single's a 2-run single.
Right.
So I think I'd stay back here.
Well, Bryson behind in the count, 2-0 here. We'll go out of the wind up. Strike one. There we go. Get a little confidence in yourself.
Little helpful there too. There's nothing worse than when you start to struggle a little bit, and it seems like the zone gets smaller. You start
Yes.
getting squeezed a little. That's a tough combination.
We got 3-1
I
count.
think he's just in a little bit of a hurry right now.
Yeah.
Just big deep breath and trying to slow everything
down.
down.
Got bases loaded, 3-1 count, no outs.
There you go.
Yeah, strike.
Come on back.
Yeah.
Looks like it was right at, we don't have the best angle. Looked right at the bottom of the zone, maybe.
Here we go.
Good
That's a
pitch
big
there.
pitch.
So now 1 out, definitely you want the double play. And that is the one good thing about bases loaded is you've got a lot of options for
Right.
it. A hard one back to the pitcher, you can come home and go to first. Third baseman can step on it and throw it across. You got a lot of ways. So if you're Bryson, just right at this guy trying to get a ground ball here. And his stuff's got a lot of dive to it. So
in your So they scored 2. It's now 3-2. 1 out. Runner on second and first.
Now batting the second baseman, or the catcher, number 10, Drew Shug.
Got a little different ball game now.
absolutely. The ball wasn't hit overly hard, but
Right.
hit in the right spot. And
Strike one. See if Bryson can kind of battle back here and get himself out of a tight situation. One count.
so similar situation here. Ground ball to third. Cornwell can kind of step on it and throw it across. Still want to make sure you get an out here
Right.
in the infield. Don't try too hard to get the double play. It's a good pitch
Strike
there.
2. If you have the opportunity to get that lead runner, that's where you want to be. But
And 2 here. He doesn't seem to have his foot down. I'd probably go back to the fastball.
right, it's close. And maybe it didn't hit the mailbox squarely, but at least grazed the outside of that strike zone there, I thought. Full count. Bryce is just right on the edge of the strike zone, I think, all the way around there. Take a deep breath and relax. Ball 4, Bases are loaded.
I was never a big believer in the announcer's jinx, but
Maybe now, right?
I'm a believer now. I've been made a believer of.
Yeah. Coach Clark going to come out and talk things over here. Drew. See what we're going to do. I seen just got a text from Renee Marshall. The boys 4x1 team is advancing to the regional track meet. Still waiting to see who's in that. I know Jack Hayden is one of those guys that's in that 4x1, but they got 4th in the district and are moving on to the regional next week up at Muskegon. Coach Clark is elected to stay with Bryson. Little pep talk, and let's go get us a win, big guy.
I think in this one, I like staying with the starter here. This is a tough spot to come into. You'd rather go with the guy that's hot.
Right.
Like you said, he's been all around it, so just
be patient
down a little bit.
Come on.
It's a good play there.
Good play.
No, nobody's covering first. Good play there,
Good
though.
play.
Get the lead guy.
Got the out.
I don't, not to criticize, but I'm not sure why you're bunting when there's a forced play at home.
Right.
Unless you're going to squeeze, and they clearly didn't. So I'm not sure why you give up and out right there. Bryson had struggled a little bit command-wise in the inning. That's an interesting decision to bunt.
I think with the displeasure from the third base coach and a couple of the base runners, maybe that
Be a hitter's decision.
yeah. Strike one. Got 2 outs, bases loaded. Dragons are up 3-2. 1 strike on the batter in the top of the 7th.
Spot there.
Strike 2.
Spot
Good pitch.
It's one of those ones as a pitcher where it may be just a little bit off the plate away, but your catcher's out there.
Yeah.
You put it right in the middle of his body, and a lot of times you're going to get that call at the high school level, even though it's maybe not necessarily right in the zone.
Foul ball.
So 0-2 here. I think I'd kind of stick with fastball. This guy's a little late.
I agree with you.
I'd like to kind of go back to where he went with that 0-1 pitch. Maybe try and get your catcher off the plate away. See if you can't steal one out there or get a chase. You don't want to throw this kid anything too over the heart of the plate here. You got a pitch to play with. Yeah, I'm fine with that pitch right there.
Right. Being the number 8 hitter.
Now you got to go right at him.
Yeah.
For sure. Give him one, see if he wants to chase it, and then kind of dial back in right at him.
Outside. 2-2 count. Bases loaded. Dragons up 3-2 in the top of the 7th.
The only tough thing, you have a lefty hitter. So with Bryson, he has a big breaking ball. It's tough to go to that here. This kid's up on the plate with 2 strikes.
Right.
I'm not sure. He did throw a changeup when we played together. I don't know if that's kind of what you have to go to here. That's a really good spot.
It was a good spot.
I don't know if
Our catcher there, I think, got a little dust off the ball, kicked back on him.
So here is an infielder, full count, 2 outs. These guys on base are moving on the
moving.
pitch. So as an infielder, you got to look at each other. You got to talk. You got to go, hey, keep the ball in front of you. We're going to first
Right.
base. You don't want to mess around with a guy that's got a huge lead. Bryson's out of the windup. They got a big secondary. You got to throw this ball to first base. Strike
Got
3.
him.
Yep, good pitch.
It was
Really,
a great
really
pitch
good spot.
right there. Dragons are moving on to play the 21st of this month at Paint Stadium, 4 p.m. More than likely it'll be the Zane Trace Pioneers is who they'll play. Dragons with a big 3-2 victory. Alex, I appreciate you coming on and helping us out.
Thank you guys for having me. Good to. I've never done this. That was kind of fun.
Andy, welcome back anytime. Good luck to you next 2 years at Miami, and I know you're going to go do great things.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming on. We'll let Coach Hayes step back on here before we sign off real quick.
I'm back.
All right, Coach, great ball game. Dragons get a 3-2 victory here. Moving on to play more than likely Zane Trace up at Chillicothe Paint Stadium on the 21st at 4 p.m. You were in this situation last week. What are you saying to your kids right out here in the huddle right now?
For me, even though down the stretch it got a little tense for a second, I'm out here being light. I'm telling them, I'm proud of you. You played loose. You played together. You held tough under some pressure. They came back a little bit, and we had a rough moment where we weren't sure. We had bases loaded, full count. Everyone's moving, and you guys are focused and dialed in. And, I'm trying to really build up their confidence because they're going to be looking at the St. Trace Chesapeake score. And even though they beat Chesapeake bad, they're going to be looking at it like, oh my gosh, like this is the boogeyman.
Right.
So I'm working on confidence right here.
I agree with you. You kind of go into that and say, guys, we did what we came to do, and that's to get a
Right.
victory here. We really don't care about the score. We overcome right there at the end. We got bases loaded. We got our 3 outs that we needed. We're moving on.
Right.
And that's all that matters.
And then maybe when you get to practice in the next couple of days, you talk about, we want to be a little more patient at bat. We need to barrel up the ball a little more. We're not seeing a lot of deep gappers. We're not even really seeing a lot of deep fly balls. Stuff that's hit just really hard and you think, is it out? And then, oh, no, maybe not. So, at practice, that's when you're talking about, where did we come up short? What can we adjust? But you don't want to make massive adjustments either because you're in that part of the season where you want to be in a groove. You want to feel comfortable. Maybe we're looking at a little different BP during the week, taking routine plays, making sure that we've got our ground balls in, our fly balls in. Maybe we're talking about that short ball in the gap. How can we get to that a little faster? But, tonight is for celebrating.
Right. I agree. I am not sure that we'll be able to bring the game to you live on the 21st. But if we are, we'll make sure we post a link and all that good stuff. Last game at home for the seniors. Congratulations, guys, going out on a win here. Rock Hill seniors, great career out of you guys. Again, good luck to you in your future endeavors and what you do. And we'll hopefully be back on the 21st. Congratulations.